Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Hidden Layers Diversity in Design. Today, I have a very special guest, a good friend of mine. I love her, the most honest person online. Please follow her work. Her name is Tide, and please, Tide, introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adesanya. I'm an artist and illustrator. I usually delve into themes of mental health. I also tend to illustrate abstract images, but also figurative images. I'm very instinctual. I make
Mhm.
whatever I want to. And I do so with my intuition. And yeah, that's me. Lots of color as well.
Nice, nice. We love it. Love it. I have a question for you. It's like, obviously, we talk about art. How do you start? How do you find yourself becoming an artist, or how did that art career start for you, if I can ask?
Yeah, of course. For me, as I was saying, art just comes naturally to me. I've always
Mm-hmm.
been drawing since I was a kid, but it transitioned into a career really seamlessly for me. My
Mm-hmm.
background was never in art. I never studied art in any way. I was quite
Mm-hmm.
academic when I was growing up. And my parents, who are the typical Nigerian parents,
Of
they
course.
uh they told me to be a doctor, lawyer, something serious.
Yeah.
And I took their advice up until uni, where I studied politics and international
Mm-hmm.
relations. And then after graduating, I sat them down and I said, that's not happening. I'm not working in
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs. I'm not doing any of that. I don't know what I want to do yet, but I want to find out my own path. And
Mm-hmm.
they always refer to that moment and laugh because they're like, "Oh my gosh, you just told us straight." I said, "No." So, yeah, so kind of since then, when I was 15, I started a blog called T-Day Blogs. I
Mm-hmm.
had 0 views, 0 followers. I was just posting about what I liked, which was thrift shopping, making art, illustrating. And at uni, I created
Mm-hmm.
an Instagram to promote my blog.
Yeah.
And it was through that Instagram that it became my job. Very
Okay.
over time, it took years and
Mm-hmm.
years. I wasn't initially approaching Instagram to become anything like career wise. I just was
Mm-hmm.
expressing myself. But
Mm-hmm.
in like 2020, that's when or 2019, 2020, I started to get my first gifted collaborations, and then
Mm-hmm.
like partnering with like Sky TV, and I partnered with like Sainsbury's, Adobe, all these different brands. That
Mm-hmm.
then became the avenue to Ria on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. Um and yeah, that's how it kind of became this whole thing.
It's beautiful because you know what is the thing? Like, I believe in consistency a lot. Like, I've always been one of those kids that have never take the traditional way to get where he want to be. I will always
Mhm.
take the different road to others because I never believe things don't always work the same way for me and you. So everybody should free to explore their own way. But I think what makes you very successful is, I think you put a lot of effort in your blog, right?
Yeah,
Was it something you did daily, if I can ask?
funnily enough, I don't
Yeah,
feel like I was consistent, David.
really. No, go for it.
No,
Yeah, please tell me.
vlog, no. I feel like I was consistent in creating every day.
Okay.
But like for you, when it comes to your
Mhm.
art, what makes you want to create? Is it like an intuition or what?
It's weird. It's like I don't function without it. You know, people talk about love, food, all this stuff. Like, that is something I cannot live without. Like, if I cannot live without doing a drawing a day, so it's part of my being. You know, like, that's why I call it the gift. It's something that I have as a kid, and I just nurture it so much. And if I don't do it, I just feel like I wasted my day. You know, so it's
Exactly. So, and that's where we're the same. That's where we
yeah,
connect. That's the artist spirit.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't feel like I was consistent when it came to, oh, I need to create a blog a day because this is what I need to do. I was
Hmm.
consistent from that place of instinct. You know,
Yeah.
I am having a feeling, or I'm having a thought, or something is like moving within me, and I need to have an outlet. Like I
Yeah.
need to get it out in some way. It can be writing, it can be drawing, it can be dancing, it can be any means of expression.
Hmm.
And that's where I was consistent because it
Yeah.
was a need. It wasn't
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
a thought out plan. But
Yeah.
every time I've had a thought out plan, I'm not consistent. See that, and that's just
I when I say consistency, I think like my consistency is doing, it means more like doing a lot and doing
mm,
it repeatedly and doing it always. Because let's be honest, like you do one
mm,
thing, doesn't matter in which kind of form you do it. Because if you
mm,
look at my art, I started traditional, then digital, then I did collage, then typography. I just mix and anything that I felt doing, I did it. Yeah. But I feel like consistency for me is more like doing something so much until you become a unnatural being. Almost like
mm,
you did so many things that don't matter what they throw at you, your mind, your heart, your vibe will just automatically manage anything, and it will always be beautiful if it makes
mm.
sense. Because
I
sometimes I
mean,
see like I don't experience creative blockage. Do you?
interesting. I do.
You do?
Yeah, that's usually when I feel burnt out. That's when I feel
Okay.
blocked. I'm like, I just need to like do nothing. That's when I feel
Okay.
blocked. That need is still there. The need
Yeah.
to express is still there, but I just feel like I can't because I'm tired. That's when I feel
Okay.
creatively blocked.
Okay.
Um, I think that's an important lesson for creatives is that like sometimes you just need to rest.
No,
Sometimes
no, it's
rest is
true.
important.
I still have to learn that. I'll be honest with you, like,
Yeah, it's hard.
cause it's very hard, and I think like if you are a bit like us, I think because it's part of your life, it's almost like if you let it go one day, 2 day, I feel anxious already, And I have a kid
Interesting.
as well, so sometimes I really don't have time. But then I will work so up till 3 o'clock in the morning, then sleep
Mm,
1, 2 hours, and then the routine of being a father begins again. So
mhm,
it's
mhm.
very interesting though.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because when you say it's like eating and it's like drinking water, this need to
Hmm.
create. When you
Yeah,
don't do it, it feels like you're not your
exactly.
sustenance is gone.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
equally, you're not eating 24 hours a day. So you need
it's true.
to let it digest. But like
Yeah.
as a creative as well, I made a post about this on Instagram yesterday,
Hmm.
was that I felt late. I felt like I'm feeling like I don't want to do anything, but I can't let myself be lazy.
Don't.
Like
Yeah, it's
that's
true.
judgment. We're not thinking
Yeah.
about it as I'm actually letting myself digest all the creative ideas within so that then I
Hmm.
can make a new fresh art. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm lazy. I'm not productive. Oh, all these judgments. But also when your creativity is tied up with work, like
Hmm.
if it's how you have a living,
Yeah.
that's extra pressure of like, "Oh, I need to make sure I need more clients. Oh my God. Oh gosh." And
Yeah,
then
and the worst enemy is you, like your worst enemy is always you. So that's why I feel like sometimes the battle between you and your inner you is just crazy sometimes.
and yeah, it is.
And obviously, because you're Nigerian, I want to ask you, like, how did I mean, I'm Nigerian too, so I can understand a lot of things. But how do you think that Nigerian people or in general African people see arts nowadays?
It's such an interesting topic to me
Hmm.
because there is a very vibrant history of art in Nigerian
Yeah,
culture. Even in
a
my
lot.
personal life, my mum did art at uni. Tell me how I didn't know that until I was 26.
Wow. Wow,
Do you
wow,
know what I
wow.
mean? They just erase. It's like they're erasing their own history, or my parents anyway. My parents, my personal history. But I feel like Nigeria is rich with so much artistry, so much culture, so much creativity. But
Mhm,
at the same time, I think especially in the past, maybe the older generation of Nigerians
mhm,
didn't respect the creative power that they had. My
mhm,
mom did all this sculpture. She did all
mhm,
this tapestry work. She did all this was it tapestry? I don't think she did tapestry actually. She did a painting and sculpture,
mhm.
and she just sees that as yeah, like it was just something that you did. Mom, no,
Mm.
you were an artist. And I think that's it, the importance of using the power of the tongue, the words
Yeah.
that we use.
Yeah.
Because my parents, because they didn't value art and the
Yeah.
art that they did, they taught me to see my art as like a throwaway thing, something without
Yeah.
value. No one's gonna pay for it. Can't be a career. It doesn't
Yeah.
have,
Because they didn't
yeah,
allow them to see it as something good, you know? That's all
exactly.
they know at the end, you know? At the end of the day, it's, I think they don't value it because their parents didn't value it as well. But it's a
Hmm.
circle that, do you think that it's a circle that can be broken? Because at the moment, Nigeria, like, if you talk Nigeria, everybody knows Afrobeats, everybody knows, like, now, wow, now they come shining here, like, dressed well, everything elegant. But when it comes, they have so much within art that comes from there, but then when you talk about art, it just feel like, what are you doing? I don't know. Do you think it will ever, this cycle will ever break?
I think it is breaking, David.
But in Europe or in Africa, because I
Exactly.
see your movement is good, but I thought it will be already something erased from memory, if it makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like not having to go in places and still think. So what I'm trying to say is like the new generation is so fast that
Mhm.
I thought like the idea of art is not a good thing for you will have already been gone years ago already. You know, I thought they will eradicate that from their mind and never ever think about it like this anymore, just because of how much came out even in the last 10 years from Nigeria. It's
Mhm.
even Afro jazz. So when you talk about people like Fela Kuti or stuff like this, when you hear the sound of that kind of music, you're like, wow, we did it well in Nigeria. But
Yeah.
it's so well known globally that, and it just feel weird because I was a kid as well when Fela Kuti was there. But at the same time, what a imprint or what like so artistic. But then when you
Mhm.
grow up, people don't really talk about it so much. But the legacy he left in that country is absolutely amazing. So
Yeah.
it's weird how so much art is there. Everybody can see it outside, but inside it's not seen as a.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like when you leave the land, you might become bigger outside than
And
inside the land.
everything.
And that's what I find funny sometimes. But I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I can't speak too much on that because obviously I moved away from Nigeria when I was 4 and I've only been back a handful of times.
Hmm.
In terms of, I kind of understand what you mean though, in terms of like the perception of
Hmm.
the value of the art that's being made in
Exactly.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
It feels like it's less heightened than once it's emigrated out.
Yeah.
But I only have that perspective from my parents. I know that there's
Hmm.
probably Nigerian people out there with parents who valued art and and were taught the importance of art and
Hmm.
taught them how to approach art with value. But for my
Hmm.
parents, and I think a lot of Nigerians are similar to me, it was
Yeah.
like it's like art is this the hobby is a thing you put on the side. It's not your main thing that you value and you treat as a craft. It's
Hmm.
something you do after your 9 to 5, after
Yeah.
your job. And I think that's mainly because there's a search for security.
Yeah.
They want to have, your well-being sorted. You don't need anything. You're getting your money. You're getting your
Hmm.
bag. They want that
Hmm.
first,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
do the creative stuff. But there's so much, there's so much money in creativity, for one,
Yeah.
and two, your perception is what determines how valuable something is. If
Yeah.
you look at something and already deem it worthless, you're giving everyone else the permission to deem it worthless as
To dim
well.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that applies to art, that applies to your self
Hmm.
perception, that applies to life, right?
Hmm.
So I feel like for me, it's really been a big lesson how I treat what I do. When I used
Hmm.
to intro myself to people like who I've meet out and about, and they say, "What do you do?"
Hmm.
At this point, I've been working as an artist for 5 years, and I still feel like I just doodle. I just do this and that. I have to
Hmm.
look at and recently I've changed because as I
Yeah.
get close to 30, I'm like, girl, put some respect on your name.
Name.
You it like, yes,
No,
you
no, it's
might
good.
You know what I mean? You might sit in your bed and be drawing because that's where I feel the most artistic inspiration comes to me is when I'm early in the morning when I wake up, I'm in bed and I'm already drawing. Like before I
Hmm.
even think I'm
Yeah,
drawing. But what you're doing, the next person cannot do.
it's big
And
time. Trust me.
secondly, what you're doing is important to you. So
Yeah.
treat it with importance and tell people, I'm an illustrator, I'm an artist. And I have a firm belief that people who are not being paid in in the
Hmm.
capitalist system, being paid for their art, that doesn't mean they're not artists.
No,
If
no,
you're
no, no.
creating,
Actually,
yeah, I truly believe if you're creating, if you're passionate about what you're doing, if you're dedicated to doing it, like you said, you have this
yeah,
need, you are an artist, you know?
yeah.
You have to put that respect on your own name.
Yeah, because I think I talk about it a lot. Is understanding your value in general. Like, if you
Mm,
understand your value, then things will change for you, even in a long term. Because
mm,
I love what you said actually. That now big up yourself. You know, like you have to give yourself that importance sometimes. Because me, since the beginning in my career, I've
mm,
never led with what I do. I've always
mm,
introduced myself like this very humble guy, like, hello, my name is David. How you doing? Oh, what do you do? Oh, yeah, do some illustration. Because I've never, like, everything I've done since child, they always teach me like we are all equals and you're not superior to others. And so whenever I walk in a room, it's a respectful kind of thing, not to throw in the people's face. I made this, I've done
mm.
that, because I've done achieved so many things in my life. But
Yeah,
when I talk to people, it's not really what I lead with, because sometimes I'm feeling that show off, or like some people, that's all they do,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And it put me in a situation where sometimes I feel like, oh my god, I don't want to talk to that person, because I
yeah.
feel like I always say people for me come before any kind of skills. Because let's be honest, we are all artists if you want to look at it in
Mm,
because you see what you said, you write, you do the blogs, you do illustration, you can do whatever you want in your way artistically. That
mm,
makes you a full on creative in
mm.
anything you want to do. The way you express yourself can be creativity. So when I see people, I believe every person is creative in reality.
Agree.
The only reason is like, as we was talking right now, is like they don't understand how special they are. Like creativity can be even being a chef or cooking and
One,
preparing meals in a certain way and finding combination. That is also creativity. But why didn't don't they feel as they are creative? Because for them
mm,
it looks more like a job, a routine, a process, you know. But also our work is a process if you think about it. So
mm.
so
I think I believe creativity is in the, as you said, process. Creativity
yeah,
is your approach to life. Like, so that's
yes,
why you don't have to be paid monetarily for anything that you do to be a creative. Your creativity lies in your approach to life. But I will say, I also had the same thing of like, and I think this is a core value that we probably both share, which is we are human first before I am part of this capitalist machine of, hey, my name's Tida, I'm an illustrator and I work for X, Y, and Z. But that's not how I want to lead. I am Tida
yeah,
first before I'm any of
yeah,
that stuff. If someone's asking me, what do you do? I've learned to stop belittling myself,
hmm,
to be humble to someone else's perception. Because at the end of the day, me and I want to value myself. I want to walk
hmm,
around in this world and I want to feel like I'm a good person and
hmm,
I am a talented person and I love my approach to life. I want to feel positive. If someone
hmm,
else feel insecure by me saying, "Hey, I've done these great things and I'm really proud of them," without bragging, because there's a difference between bragging and
hmm,
owning your power. Everyone has power. Everyone has their
yes,
individual, but not everyone
thank you.
owns it. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. I didn't used to own it either. I just doodle
Mhm,
and I don't know. I'm just this clueless small little girl. Don't get me wrong.
mhm.
I'm still a small little babe, but I am
Yeah,
recognizing my power. The older I get, I don't want to walk around feeling small.
yeah.
The world has conditioned us to feel small in our power, feel like we
Mhm,
we can't uplift ourselves without it
Mm-hmm.
being boastful. There's a way to do it. I'm not going
Okay.
and be hitting people over the head saying, I'm better than you. No.
Mm-hmm.
But me loving myself is an invitation for you to also
Mm-hmm.
love yourself. I don't want to belittle other people. I never look at other people and go, you're less than me or because you no, find your own power. And
Find your own power.
that's what I'm trying to do on my Instagram with the
Mm-hmm.
artist vlog is
Yeah.
hey, if they can do it, you can do it. We are all doing it
Yeah.
together. We're all humans. There's no need to belittle yourself or to feel in competition with anyone else. Go stop scrolling and comparing yourself to other other people's lives and other
Hallelujah,
people
man. I'm happy
how
that you say that because I truly think like you, and it's just funny how similar this is. Everybody has the power to do whatever they want in this world, and the
mm,
only problem I think is like that to stop people to do that is when you start listening to people, you
too
know?
much.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes when you listen too much to people, you start believing whatever people say. And I think
Mm,
that is something very wrong in this period of time, especially
mm,
with the younger generation right now. It always feel like they need to be like somebody they see, you know?
mm.
Just be yourself first. And when you are yourself, you will be so unique that everybody want to get to know you as well. So,
The thing is, I find that like a lot of the people, and I made a video about this, a lot of the people who end up being these success are following that instinct, the
themselves.
instinct of wanting to create. But it's so hard now because at our fingertips, we have lots of inspiration. Like even me thinking of what the stuff I post, I'm trying to be conscious that I don't want to post things that will lead people into comparison. I'm still going to be post my
Mm-hmm.
stuff and be proud of it, but I want to also make content that inspires people to get off their phone
Mm-hmm.
into their intuition. Off your phone into your intuition because that's where your real inspiration lives. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like the going online to see what other people are doing in order to copy can be helpful sometimes because sometimes when you're like early on in your expressive creative career or whatever or you're
Mm-hmm.
just wanting to create but you're scared and you're still limited, it might be helpful to go and copy. Go
Yeah.
online, look at artists that you say, oh, I like this. You're still listening to your intuition, you're listening to what you like. Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to copy this. You don't then have to copy them and put
Yeah.
make it a poster and sell their own art, but you can
Mhm.
have your scrapbook, start to learn how to just copy things, and through the copying you start to learn, like you have your own expression that will merge within all the things that you're copying and it will become a new thing. So
Yeah.
you follow the process of inspiration, but what people do too often,
Mhm.
including me,
Mhm.
is you get stuck in just looking. That looks
Yeah.
cool. I could never do that. Keep going. Oh, that's good. Oh, this person's style. I like this. I like this. But you're not taking that inspiration into your intuitive place and starting to copy or create
Mhm.
and grow your own voice. You're staying
Yeah.
stuck in the observation. And that leads you to feel paralyzed. You
Mhm.
start to feel lesser. You've not shown yourself through action that
Mhm.
you are also capable of creating. You're seeing everyone else create, and is by just staying in the observation seat,
Mhm.
you're losing you've almost forgotten that you're capable of also creating, And that's the thing also is that once you start to go into action,
Yeah.
you'll start to
Everything's changed.
yeah, everything will change. You start to
Yeah.
see that, okay, sometimes you make stuff you don't like. As I've been going more into action of painting more, I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm hearing my harsh critic come out. But it's through that process,
Mhm.
you start to find what you do like. You
Yeah.
have to go through making bad art. People are so scared of bad art is
It's the
fantastic.
best art. It's the
Yeah.
best art as well. It's funny what you said, like, because even the greatest people in, okay, let's talk about people like Pablo Picasso, things like
hmm
that.
hmm
They have copy everybody Sorry, I think you froze for a second. Okay.
Yeah, Freud doing this, David. That's fine.
Anyway, now, but Pablo Picasso, the example, I went to his Privé, the example, and you start seeing his work from his early stage till the end of his days, you know? And then you look at everything and you actually start noticing, oh, this look like a Van Gogh. This look like this. Literally, he copied everybody's style so much until that day that his mistakes brought him to the Picasso style. Okay. And that is interesting because every artist, even me, I used to never look at other people's work. You know why? Because I feel like whenever you look at other people's work, your unintentional mindset will record something from that piece and unintentionally, because you saw it, you will reproduce it in your artwork. So I stopped looking at people, but then I said like, I never look at artists back in the day. But it's also true, when I was a kid, I will have the Ninja Turtle in television, I will draw a Ninja Turtle. I saw this in television, I will so that in reality means copying, exercising, testing the skills. Because in this market, there are thousands of people that use my same identical skill, but when you look at the outcome, we all different. So learning learning to reproduce and using techniques can lead you to unbelievable outcomes, you know. But that's what I say. Like, stop wasting your time comparing yourself. That's I think is the best thing you said today. Is like, stop comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I think when you start to shine, you will bring a fresh a breath of fresh air to everybody that look at you as well. That's why a lot of times, even when I introduce you to people, everybody, oh, I know T, because of the, you know, because you have been yourself and you're very honest about a lot of topics that have actually happened to you, and the way you express it is why the people love you online. You know, it's wonderful to see. You know,
Thanks, David. Something you said really got my attention about
go
like
for it.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
People have forgotten that inspiration can come from anywhere.
anything.
There's nothing new under the sun. That
Yeah,
sun up in the sky, everything has been thought,
yeah,
created, made before, but it's not been made by you.
yeah.
Okay. So there's this desire that sometimes artists have of like, need to be the most, it needs to be, I need to reinvent the wheel. I need to make something completely and utterly like
It
stunning,
doesn't
new,
exist.
revolutionary. But what they don't understand is, one, everything has been done.
Yeah,
Two, there's not been done through your specific lens. You can draw this
exactly.
and it will be different, right? And I think you gain inspiration from anything. You gain inspiration from the childhood TV shows that you watch. You can gain inspiration from Instagram sometimes if you're very careful about not staying passive in the
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah, yeah,
Gain inspiration from the leaves outside. Go
yeah,
outside, pick some leaves, come inside, draw those leaves.
yeah,
That can be as simple as that. And I think that's where I start to like, when I can listen to the inspiration that is abundant around
mm-hmm.
me, I feel like I'm living the most creative life
Yeah,
ever. Even
yeah,
more than if I get 10,000 briefs coming from different clients. If I go outside and I can get inspiration from a snail on the floor or the shell,
mm-hmm.
I love the curves and the spirals. Let me see what I can create out of the theme of spirals. And then things
Yeah,
start to jump. That feeling is like heaven to me,
yeah,
right? That's how I want to live my life, feeling inspired by by the everyday things, you
mm-hmm.
know. But I think that what stops us is that now we live in an age of over produce. There's so much things happening on our devices
Too
that
much,
we think that
too
that's the only
much.
place where we can be inspired. We need to take ourselves away, get bored more
Yeah,
often, observe real life, and find quiet inspiration. Because online,
pay.
there's so
I would say paying attention. You know,
much attention.
because I feel like when you open that portal, it's more like a distraction, continuous distraction. Is when you pay attention that you actually see like the beauty of the world. It's funny because I come from that generation where we didn't have mobile phones when we when we was teenagers.
Mm.
And it's funny that now everybody's on the phone. Rather, back in the days, if you saw what we did with the time we had, it was incredible.
Mm,
Like, we will fill our days by literally doing things. And as you said, just stand up, go outside, do it, do this, do that.
mm,
The action of doing something is super powerful, and people have lost connection with it, I think, more than they don't want to do it. They have lost connection with it because it's easy to pick up a phone and get lost into it. Rather, if you didn't have the phone, half of the world will panic right now
mm,
because they wouldn't know how to do simple things, just like how can I fill my day? How can I have fun today just by going out on walking with a friend on day three? No, it needs to be a date. It needs to be a drink out. There needs to be something that keeps them there for a reason. Rather, before we didn't have no reason. And that's
mm,
why if I think about the 90s and stuff like that, I think creativity was even better, you know,
mm, mm.
because there was freedom of expression, there was freedom. Everybody had such a wild way of seeing the world. And now, can I be honest? Can I ask you actually the last question? Because obviously we're running out of time as well. But do you think that art was better in your past? Or do you think like art that you see today is much similar to each other? Does it stand? Sorry, I don't know how to word it actually. Do you
I
think
get what,
there was
yeah.
more freedom before, or now a lot of people just jump on trends and do things that are very similar just because they are trapped into this world of scrolling, comparing each other? I want to be like, you know what I mean? Because
I
when you
know.
stop too much to look like somebody, then you are imitating somebody. You're not being yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, my first instinct is to say that art in the past was had more permission to be weirder.
Yes.
It had more
Yes, definitely.
permission to go in different directions. You're like,
Without problems.
you know how kids create where it's like,
No idea.
one, one plus one made
Yeah.
a squirrel. How did we
Yeah.
get? And I think now there's a lot of pressure to be refined or to
Yeah.
be perfect or to create something that is aesthetic
Yeah.
rather than true. And I
Yes.
think and personally, I think I value one of my values that I'm discovering or rediscovering is truth.
Yeah.
I like truth. I like things to be authentic and honest to the human experience. And I think the art that does that usually is not looking for permission. It's
Mm-hmm.
not looking for peers.
Mm-hmm.
You're just doing the
Yeah.
weirdness that comes from within. And
Yeah.
maybe to answer your question, my instinct is to say that back in the day, art was more creative in the sense that it was more diverse, more weird.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm. But now art is a lot more like the art that I see online
Yeah.
specifically is a lot more polished. And I think people are rebelling against that
Yeah.
more. I
Yeah.
think I think there's a push towards more people trying to go into analog ways of creating and like especially with AI coming and making perfection easier
Yeah.
to get to. It's like, okay, well, I value the imperfect actually. Let me
Yeah.
let me go back to the imperfect because that's
That
more
breaking point is a very yeah. Yeah, I see you. I see you. No, it's very interesting actually. Anyway, T Day,
okay.
I'm not gonna make it long again. I'm really happy that you came online with me today. And for all
Great.
the subscribers, if you didn't know T Day, please follow her on Instagram. Her work is amazing. Follow her blogs and please show her some love. T Day,
Thank
always love. Thank you very much. Huh?
you.